Hi guys! Okay, so I thought I'd do something a little bit different from what I usually do, and I thought I'd tell a bit of a story through pictures and videos. So for those of you who've been watching my channel, you will be aware that I used to work in a school a long time ago. I still do supply teaching every now and again, but I worked as a primary school teacher, had my own class in a school for about 4 years. I used to teach 32 children in my last position. I taught reception for a year and then I took them up with me to year 1, and I still see many of those students now, and they are now going into year 9. Working in a mainstream school means that you follow the national curriculum, and as a Christian I was sometimes heavily convicted about some of the things I was teaching them. As you're all aware, we have one world and there are many different views. As a born again Christian, I believe in a young earth. Obviously there are Christians that believe in an old earth as well, and I believe the world was created in 6 literal days. So there's obviously Christian education versus secular education, and sometimes education doesn't mix quite well. I was quite convicted about teaching it, but I would never go against what I had signed up to do. So I'd stay very professional and I would teach exactly what was there. But I felt as though even though my children went to a Church of England school, they were also being taught the same thing, and I realised it was because of the national curriculum. And the national curriculum is humanistic in nature, where there's certain things that they don't want to teach in school, and there's certain things that they do want to teach in school, which I don't necessarily agree with. So I thought about taking my children out of school at that point, but my final decision came when my oldest boy just said he just couldn't stand it anymore. He just hated school. He was always complaining every morning. He had a tummy ache. He was always like, I just don't want to go to school, Mommy, please don't send me back to school. And after so many years of him doing that, I thought, you know what, my children need me and it's time for me to make a decision. It didn't take long. I think it took about 2 weeks of pondering, and then I took them out of school. At the time, Malaya Sky was in year 1, she was 6 years old. Tiago was in year 2, he was 7 years old, and Enrique was in year 5, he was 10 years old. And I took them out of school and our journey began after that. We tried a range of curriculums, from Montessori to Charlotte Mason's to unit studies to all kinds of things, and I realised that I was trying to be something that I wasn't. And actually I quite like my children having measurable goals. I like knowing what they're learning and knowing what they're achieving, and I quite like the idea of them having a qualification at the end and the idea of it being alternative to the national curriculum. So we decided to use the ACE curriculum. ACE stands for Accelerated Christian Education, and with the Accelerated Christian Education there are characters in there like you can see over here. Ace, Christy, Sandy, Reginald, J. Michael and Pudge are some of the characters that you will see in the ACE curriculum, and they start off really young, which is really cute, and as children get older the characters grow up too. So here's Ace as he grows up to show that he's a little bit older. They are used to illustrate a character trait, and they grow up with the child with their age, and they have age appropriate issues that they deal with. So whereas a little child might have an issue of sharing, an older child might have an issue of peer pressure and maybe relationships or things like that, and the PACEs will deal with those things as the children grow up in an age appropriate way. So I quite like that about the curriculum. Other things I like about the curriculum is the way that it's laid out and the way that it's set up. They teach 7 core subjects, maths being the first one. Maths is divided into different areas. So you have your main areas like arithmetic, you've got your fractions, your Roman numerals, then it moves on to algebra 1, then it moves on to geometry, then algebra 2, then calculus. So even though it's a European curriculum, it follows the American model where they learn things in topics. So they get really good at one topic before moving on. Whereas in the UK, children learn a little bit of this and a little bit of that. There are loads of arguments about which is better. I've used both and I quite like this method, but I've used the national curriculum method too, and I think it works just as well. Other areas that they learn is English, where they cover word building, creative writing and just English grammar basically, and again it's so in depth. The children have to master a concept before moving on to another concept. Another subject area that they learn is social studies, which is basically geography and history and maybe political science, I'd say, and it's kind of it blends into one. So children learn all of those things like current affairs and things like that in one area. They learn about civilization, they learn about UK history, they learn about world history and many different things. I will be covering some more videos of these subjects in a little bit more detail. Another area that they focus on is science. Yep, they do science as well. But science is all based on the Bible, so a lot of it's based, science is science anyway. Science is about what we see in our world, and when you do experiments you need to know if it's testable, can it be repeated, is it observable. So they learn science in the same way, they learn the same subject that you do in school. They learn, they do experiments. We use in household equipment, we use experiments for that. In science also, they do topical science. So they do biology, and then physics, and then chemistry. So you have to be aware of that. If you want your child to go back into the into mainstream school, you have to be aware that the science order is slightly different within the ACE curriculum, but it's just as in depth. Really, really good. Lots of reading. It's a reading curriculum, so there's lots of reading that they do, and lots of memory work also. Another thing that I like about joining the ACE is that you get a membership card which shows that you're homeschooled, and that also helps you to get discounts in different areas. There's lots of pastoral care where they will pray for you. The people at the ACE will talk to you via telephone, via email, through the post. There's also lots of camps, like you can see over here. We have Teach Camp where we go once a year, and there's also ESE, which stands for European Student Convention. We went there for the first time last year in 2019, and we had the most amazing time, and I kind of wish we started doing it earlier. So what happens at the ESC is that children get to compete with other children that are either home educated from the same curriculum or who attend an ACE school. They get to see their friends. They see their friends year round anyway, but this time they get to see their friends in like a holiday camp where they get to spend time fellowshipping with them and just performing with them and having lunch with them and dinner with them, and then the parents get to spend time together. So it's wonderful. Here's Malaya Sky as she wins her race. She was so proud about that. The boys got involved with so much different sport with their friends and had that competitive spirit where they got to get other home educated children together to perform different things. This is them getting ready for their football match. They did a relay together as well. They actually won this relay. It doesn't look like it because there's somebody in front of them, but the people that run in front of them are called 24/7, and 24/7 are like the mentors, the youth mentors who used to do the AC curriculum, but they've got older now, like A-level age, and they basically are there to support the younger students in their journey within the curriculum.
The diamond goal, but Nathan's holding them. Oh, he's slowing. Mr. McLean now, it's all up to you. It's a poor changeover of the banana. 24/7 are out in front. Connor, look at that style.
Hurry up!
Let's give him a big round of applause. Final changeover. Johannes Price. Jaden is coming like a train. He's coming, Johannes. Jaden's coming. He's coming. Jaden's coming. He's coming.
This is Enriquez playing basketball with Thiago. He was a coach here and he got a medal for coaching really well. He loved basketball. Both of them loved basketball, and it was nice for them to be on the same team, working together for the same cause. Malaya Sky, she joined the netball team. It was her first time doing netball. She really enjoyed it again, and
they will. They'll be like, they'll try to talk to you when you're about to go. You guys sound like
and then they get to see other children's work that they work on year round. Here's an example of Thiago's woodworking project that he did. He got second place. He worked really hard with his granddad on this project for quite a while. That was another child's woodworking project there. Malaya Sky and the boys won quite a few medals. She got a medal here for the short story writing competition. She came second in that, so she was really pleased about that.
Third place between Malaya Sky from the Morrison Family Homeschool.
And then here are the boys with getting their medals for the many sports that they did.
And Thiago and Enriquez from the Morrison Family Homeschool.
Okay, so there you have it. If you're thinking about using the ACE curriculum, I'd recommend you get a diagnostic test for free for your child. Go to acediagnostictest.com and you'll have to load in your details. I would recommend that you start the test 2 levels below your child's year. So if you have a child in year 4, I'd recommend you start the assessment from year 2 onwards. Your child will go through a list of questions based on the key areas of maths, English, reading comprehension and spellings, word building. They'll keep working through the questions by themselves, unaided by you, and it'll get to a point in the test where they're finding everything really hard and they're having to press next each time. When they get to this stage, you know that you've gone too far or that they're not able to access the learning beyond that point. So you would stop the diagnostic test there. Then you'll be given a list of numbers that will come over to your email address. And at that point there, you can either contact the teacher office in the UK to find out what those numbers mean or what books you need to order, or you can just contact me or leave a comment below and I can help you to understand what those numbers mean. You can then purchase the books by yourself. You don't have to join the academy to purchase the books. You can just slowly start working through them by yourself. That will help supplement your child's learning that they're receiving at school, or it might help you to think whether or not you want to continue with the curriculum or not. There you have it. I hope you like the video. I know that at the beginning of the video, my drawing went a bit lopsided. That's because my camera moved a little bit, but it took so long to draw that I thought I'd still upload it. But yeah, I'll see you in another video. Like and subscribe.